Hello everyone, welcome to my crypto guide. My name is Pauli and I've been playing crypto since season 3. I thus had a lot of time to figure out some useful tips and tricks that I would like to share with you. So let's start this guide with a quick rundown of crypto's abilities. Passive. Whenever an enemy gets closer than 30 meters to your drone and is in its line of sight, he will be marked and visible for you and your teammates even through walls. Similar to the Bloodhound scan, but the mark will not expire quickly. Instead, it lasts as long as the enemy is in that 30 meter range. Marking enemies counts towards assists, which means that if one of your teammates kills an enemy that got scanned shortly before, it will give you an assist to that kill. That is extremely useful for ranked and allows you to really play as a supportive character in ranked. Your drone will also highlight doors, supply bins, care packages and enemy traps. Highlighted enemies will see a drone detected warning in their HUD. Tactical. The tactical ability lets you switch to your drone. Now you are in drone mode and you can pilot it around freely. The drone has a range of 200 meters, so whenever your drone is 200 meters away from you, you will lose control of the drone and you cannot go further. If you really push that limit, you can't even turn around anymore and fly back. You can exit the drone by activating your tactical again and walk closer to your drone to regain control. Next to the tactical symbol on the HUD, you can always see the current distance to your drone. With the character utility action button, you can always recall your drone back to you. So I highly recommend binding that key to a well accessible button. When you are more than 240 meters away from your drone, it will be automatically recalled. When the drone takes more than 60 damage, it will be destroyed and a 40-second cooldown starts until you can use the drone again. If it gets shot but not destroyed, it will get itself back after recalling. When Crypto gets shot while he is piloting the drone, he will be forced out of the drone view. Ultimate. When using your ultimate, Crypto's drone will send an EMP out on its current location. The EMP has a spherical range with a 30 meter radius. The EMP will apply a slow on every person within that range for about 2 seconds. Be careful as it slows your teammates as well. You and enemies will also take 50 shield damage, your teammates do not take this damage. You can activate the EMP either from drone view by pressing your ultimate key or the left mouse button, or from outside the drone view by pressing your ultimate key. However, the drone must be deployed, which means you cannot activate your EMP when the drone is on your back or currently destroyed. Recon. Crypto is a recon character which allows him to scan survey beacons to reveal the next circle's location for your team. And that leads us to tip number 1. Tip number 1. Scan the survey beacon with your drone. Scanning a survey beacon usually takes about 7 seconds and makes you unable to fight or move for that time. Since those survey beacons are mostly at easy to see places with no cover, you become an easy target. However, with Crypto you can use your drone to scan survey beacons. That means you can hide somewhere up to 200 meters away from the beacon and scan it anyways, and it is much faster since you don't have to wait the 7 seconds. It's an immediate scan. Pay attention, you must position your drone right in front of the beacon looking at the activation panel. If you are not directly in front of it, you will hear the sound that it got scanned, but you won't see the next ring. Tip number 2. Rescue your teammates with a drone. If your teammates die, you can use your drone to grab their banner cards from a safe distance. Just pilot your drone close to the boxes and press E. But pay attention, enemies will potentially try to destroy your drone so you cannot pick them up. Then you would have to wait 40 seconds until you can try it again. Once you recovered your teammates' banner cards, you can also use your drone to respawn at respawn beacons. Just pilot your drone near the beacon and press E again to immediately call in the dropship. This opens up a very good synergy between Crypto and mobile respawn beacons. You can start calling in the respawn beacon and while it is sent down, fly your drone to collect the banner cards. Once you have them, the respawn beacon should be ready for a very fast respawn. But pay attention, enemies might see the incoming respawn beacon and could try to push you. So make sure there is nobody in the area. Just for your information, you can also open doors, supply bins and care packages with your drone and ping loot in drone view. Tip number 3. Check the banners. Crypto is a surveillance expert, so your task is to collect as much information for your team as you can. To achieve that, you should be constantly checking the banners all around the maps. To do so, you just have to enter drone view and look at those banners hanging around. They will tell you how many enemy squads are in a range of 200 meters around you, not around your drone. I recommend to really check those banners as often as you can. For example, I try to do it about every minute or even more frequent in my games. There are some good situations where I strongly recommend to do it. For example, directly after you wanna fight. Maybe heal your shield up quickly and then check if there are enemy squads near. If nobody is near, you can focus on healing up and looting. If at least one squad is near, you should hurry up healing and expect a third party push to come. Another example would be just before you enter a new looting area. Quickly check if you have to expect enemies hiding in the area in front or if you can enter safely. You should always share the information you get from the banners with your team. If you are talking with them in a voice chat, just say something like "nobody close" or "2 squads near" whenever you are checking the banners. If you cannot talk to them, you can also simply ping the banner while you are in drone view, and Crypto will drop a voice line telling your team how many squads are close by. You can also use those voice lines to figure out the number for yourself if you only see a part of the banner or the next banner is too far away to really see the number on it. By the way, it doesn't matter how far the banners are away from you, they will all show the same number. If you ping the banners for your teammates and there are more than 3 squads close, Crypto will only say a lot of squads are near and not how many. In those cases, I tend to write the number quickly to the chat just so my teammates have a chance of understanding how many squads are near. They will probably not always understand what I mean by the number I write in chat, but most of the time I'm sure they will. You should really train to deploy your drone and scan banners as quickly as possible. Since you're doing it very often in the game, it will help you keep up with your teammates. Remember, while you are in drone view, you cannot move your character and they won't wait for you most of the time. Tip number 4. Watch what you want to see. Whenever you deploy your drone, its view will be identical to your view just before you enter the drone. So if you, for example, want to check banners, prepare by directing your view towards those banners while you are deploying your drone. By that you can save time while scanning banners, since you will immediately see the number when the drone has booted up completely. Tip number 5. You keep going. When activating your drone, you have a short period of time where you still keep on moving your character, and after your drone is activated, your character will stay in the position he was on activation time. That means you can, for example, slide down a hill and activate your drone. Since Crypto will stay crouched, you will also continue sliding down the hill. You can also use that for checking banners while running. If you time a slide jump correctly to opening up the drone view and you are quick with scanning banners, you will almost not at all stay still while doing that. Use that when moving in on enemies to check for a third-party threat. When you are going to hide behind something for a longer drone flight, you can also save time if you let your character slide behind cover while you are already in drone view. Just prepare the direction while booting up and initiate a slide shortly before you go into the drone view. But be careful, of course you will not slide very far on a plain ground. Tip number 6. Long flight, only when you are safe. If you want to take longer flights and check out your surroundings for enemies, you should always check that you are safe first, since you are an easy target while piloting the drone. Always try to hide somewhere, behind cover or in a not easy to see corner. Attention, don't try to hide in Bangalore smoke. There is currently a bug in the game, or maybe it's a feature, where you will have your drone view be disturbed by the smoke even if the drone exits the smoke. So as long as your character sits in Bangalore smoke, you will see basically nothing in your drone. It will scan nearby enemies anyways, it's just harder to pilot your drone precisely. So, you found your hiding spot and prepare for a longer flight. First thing you should do is checking the banners if there is an immediate threat nearby. If, for example, the drone tells you there is only one squad nearby and you saw a squad in front of you that you want to scout out, you are good to go. But if instead the drone detects 2 squads nearby, you should think about if the other squad could push you while you are scouting out the first squad. So my recommendation would be, don't go for flights far away from you when you don't know where all the detected squads are. Instead, hover around near you and try to spot the missing enemy squads. Wait, what's that? Lifetime? Tip number 7. Try to predict third parties. In the game, everyone hates being third-partied and it also happens a lot. With Crypto you have the chance to predict a third party to come. That means if you are about to push an enemy squad that you just saw, you should always take your time and check the banners if there is another squad nearby. If the drone says there's another squad within 200 meter radius and you start the fight anyways, it's pretty much certain that you will get third partied. Since you have no escape in your kit, you won't get out of a fight once it really started most of the time. So in this case you should probably instead cancel the push and try to find out where this extra squad is first. However, when you are playing with randoms, they will most of the time not think about the immediate threat and push anyways. If they die then and you are still a bit behind or playing a little safer, you can expect to be flamed a lot. You always have to be thinking about if you are letting your team down or if you are saving them by not pushing with them. If you survive a hopeless fight, you can pretty often reset the game for your team by recovering and respawning with your drone and grant yourself a second chance. Tip number 8. Push with your EMP. Let's say you checked everything out and you feel safe to push the enemy squad in front of you. Check if you have your EMP up. If it's close to being available, you should communicate to your teammates that your EMP is ready soon and you want to wait for it. Then you should start the push by EMPing the enemies. It is ideal if you get the EMP off just before you and your teammates enter the EMP range. In this case you will not be slowed and the enemies will probably not have enough time to heal up their shields. The EMP gives you an advantage over your opponents and you should always try to get the most out of it. All your skills rely on your drone to be up, so if it gets destroyed you are basically Revenant silenced but for 40 seconds. This is why you have to make it as hard as possible for enemies to destroy your drone. A few tips for that. Last one ran somewhere here. Tip number 9. Never fly in a straight line. A drone flying in a straight line directly to your enemies is basically as good as dead. It's easy to shoot and 60 HP is really not much. So you should always try to move left and right, up and down while flying near enemies. Fly around corners and take cover. From my experience, it is harder to track the drone when you are flying close to the ground, and it also feels like you are flying faster than when you are up in the air. Just imagine your drone to be an RC car and race around the obstacles on the way to your destination. At least that's what I do very often. Also, the direction your drone is coming from can tell enemies where you are, so consider going around a longer way and enter the area from a different angle to make it harder to track you. Tip number 10. Drones stay outside. Your EMP goes through walls. If you are pushing a team that is hiding inside a building, you can just park your drone outside next to the wall. This way they cannot destroy the drone since they have no line of sight. And you can still EMP them when you are close enough to initiate the push. By the way, your EMP also destroys ramparts, amped covers and Watson's fences, so you can pretty much access a fortified building easily after EMPing. Tip number 11. Glass is mostly transparent. Most glass windows on Apex are transparent and the highlighting works through them. In some situations it can be really useful to park your drone outside a window. It will scan enemies anyways and they cannot shoot it. So you will always see what they are doing and you will have more information to work with. If they want to destroy it, they mostly have to leave cover and you can try to inflict some damage on them while they are distracted by your drone. Tip number 12. Play at the edge of the ring. If you are fighting at the edge of the ring, you should always try to fly your drone outside of the ring. Enemies from inside the ring will have a hard time seeing your drone since the visual effects of the ring edge will conceal your drone pretty well. So let's think you tried to play safe, but now your team gets pushed. Your drone and your EMP is up. What do you do with that? Tip number 13. Use your EMP defensively. When you realize that you are getting pushed by an enemy squad, it can be a good idea to just drop your drone somewhere next to you. In case your shield gets broken, you can activate your EMP and immediately start healing up with the battery. The 2 seconds slow on the enemies will help pulling the battery off, and you are ready with a fresh shield, while your enemies lost half of their shields. Looking at this scenario, it can also be really rewarding to run a golden body shield on crypto sometimes. Tip number 14. Level up. The damage your EMP does counts towards your Evo shield level up damage. You will get 50 damage from every enemy that you hit who has at least 50 HP on his shield. Use your EMP whenever you have it to level up your body shield. If one of your teammates, for example, has a level 2 shield that is 100 to 150 damage away from leveling up, you should offer your teammates to upgrade it for them. Just shield swap, EMP someone to level up and shield swap back. I often find it very useful if the most aggressive character in your team has the biggest body shield, so help him level it up. Tip number 15. Fly first, reload never. One last tip for saving you a little time again. If your guns are empty and you are not in an immediate fight, consider flying around with your drone, giving your teammates information about enemies. Your guns will reload itself, similar to the golden max, while you are in the drone view. Alright, those were my 15 tips and tricks for beginner and advanced cryptos. I hope you liked them and I hope they will help you somehow. I'm pretty sure I missed on a lot of things you can do. So if you have some more tips and tricks to share, feel free to do this in the comments. Also, I think crypto has the best voice lines too. Nothing feels better than answering a voice line spammer in the dropship with
"It appears that intelligence is just a word to you."
If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I hope this guide will help you out. And if you have nothing better to do, like and subscribe. And if you want, feel free to visit me in my stream on Twitch. Thank you so much. Bye.